Here's how I became Denmark's best editor.
Du har vundet førstepladsen.
It all started when I was a little kid. I loved making videos, and they were questionable.
What the hell?
But I had a lot of fun with it, and that's the most important part. And little did I know that these videos were about to transform me into a level 100 VFX genius. And while all of that seems pretty cool, it wasn't all smooth sailing. But hey, everybody makes mistakes, and as long as you keep coming back up, you're getting stronger. And now that you've heard a little bit about my story, it's time that we fast forward a little bit. Up to the point in time where I got the most important notification in my life. What? And there it was, the message that changed my life. So of course, I had to check it out. And it was a link to a video of two guys publicly inviting to the challenge of Denmark's best editor. The rules were very simple. They send you the raw material of the very same video that they posted, and your job is to make the coolest edit out of the material. Everybody has exactly 1 month of editing. And that's where I fucked up. Because while everybody was editing away, I had forgotten all about the challenge. And now there was only 4 days left. So I went into complete isolation for the next few days. And I was having some insane sessions, treating this challenge like a full-time job. And that's because the prizes were actually pretty insane. The first place gets to go to the biggest festival in Denmark, Roskilde Festival. And the second place gets 100 energy drinks. And of course, I was going for the Roskilde Festival ticket. But how the hell was I going to do that in only 4 days? Well, I'm about to show you. The first thing I did was sort out the clips, because they had sent over 40 minutes of raw material. And after finding the clips that I wanted to use, it was editing time. I started out by breaking the scene down by masking everything out, then expanding the background in Photoshop so I had more room to work with. I wanted to catch the viewer's attention immediately, so I wanted to make a really catchy intro. To achieve this, I made a little friend into a puppet, moving his body parts based on the speed that he was going. Giving him a lightning trail to follow him around to give the idea that the source of his speed and power was coming from some superpower. I gave the scene a new setting by adding some different sources of light, making the scene look way cooler and realistic. But something was bothering me. His hair was really poorly masked out, so I jumped into Photoshop and made the AI help me a little bit, and that looks way better. And from here, the first scene is actually already done. Only some small minor adjustments needed to be made, like adding this shockwave when he lands, applying some text to the scene, and giving him these cool ass robotic eyes. And 5 hours later, the first scene is done.
Vi kårer Danmarks bedste editor.
And in the next clip, he introduces the prizes of the whole competition. And since the first place got to Roskilde Festival, I wanted him to introduce the prizes on a whole stage. So I got into Blender and started building. I found a free 3D model of a stage, and then also adding a podium in the middle that he could stand behind. And boom, just like that, he's ready to talk to a crowd. And the crowd was fairly easy to add in, because it's just a transparent video of people cheering. Let's add some confetti in there, and also animate some spotlights going over the crowd, so everything seems to be going crazy. Then I realized that there weren't any lights on the scene, so I added those and it looks way better. Let's add a background in as well, giving the scene some more ambience and also filling out the gaps in the background. When he introduces the second place prize, I wanted the sodas to come flying in from left and right, but the soda didn't have quite the right texture. It's supposed to look like this, so I copied the texture and made the AI fill out the rest for me. And now the soda was looking perfect. It just needed a little bit of animation and a few duplicates. But the stage he was standing on was pretty boring, so why not add him onto the billboard? But it wasn't quite dramatic enough, so I added in some smoke elements as well. Alright, everything seems to be pretty perfect now. The only last thing that I had to do was add in some cool text for the video.
Bedste editor.
Første præmien skal med os til Roskilde Festival, og anden præmien får 100 faktisk kun i booster.
But guys, something was wrong. I hadn't shown my true form yet. And no, I'm not talking about the time where I played We Are Number One in front of my whole school. I'm talking about that I hadn't shown my true potential yet. So I promised myself I would go absolutely monkey bananas in the next scene. And this is the part of the video where they're explaining what kind of things they're looking for and judging off from. Basically the flow of your video, your editing skills, and your ability to make special effects. So of course, I would have to include some kind of explosion here. And what better way to do that than replace his microphone with a dynamite? So I made a quick one in Blender, but it was a little bit too small. So I modeled it a little bit bigger. And now it's the perfect size. So let's remove the dressing that he's holding and also mask out his hands. And then do a lot of manual tracking. And yes, I know there are tracking tools, but this is the best way to get the perfect tracking. And oh my god, these guys gave me a green screen. Let's add a bond timer to that and wrap everything up with a big explosion. And the explosion was fairly easy to do. Just add some explosive elements, get some help from the AI to make a hole in the wall, make the guy fly out of the hole, explode the hole, and then leave his hand on the ground. And that's it for this scene.
I konkurrencen kommer vi til at lægge fokus på dine tekniske skills,
Flowet i din video.
og din evne til at lave visuelle effekter.
I'm sorry, but I forgot to record the last piece of editing, but it's basically the same as in the first scene. And somehow I managed to reach the deadline and send the video within the last few hours of the deadline closing. Phew! And now it was all about waiting for something to happen. Oh. Oh! Yes! Yes! What? No! No! Shut up! And after finishing the beautiful raid, I called them back.
Hej, det er Jacob.
Du har vundet førstepladsen.
And I can't even explain how happy I was, guys. All of those failures and mistakes and spending 4 days in isolation had finally paid off. And now I can't even wait to go to Roskilde Festival and celebrate and have the time of my life. And now I will leave you with the final video that made me the best editor in Denmark of 2023. If you made it so far, please subscribe, man. I love you. Anyways, see ya.
Vi kårer Danmarks bedste editor.
Første præmien skal med os til Roskilde Festival. Og anden præmien får 100 faktisk kun i booster.
I konkurrencen kommer vi til at lægge fokus på dine tekniske skills,
Flowet i din video.
og din evne til at lave visuelle effekter.
Vi kontakter vennerne om morgenen den 24. december.
Let the games begin.